You are listening to a very funny podcast made and produced by stand-up comedian Lovdev Bar Pega. It's a crazy little thing called Lovdev. Episode 181. Black-Eyed Child. People out there, welcome back to another episode of me. How do you guys put up with this nonsense? I don't know. Guess what happened to me? Ended up getting a last minute gig on Sunday down in Cardiff. And I got to support an act called Reginald D. Hunter. I'll tell you a little story about Reginald D. Hunter. Now, he's actually from the US. Born in Albany, Georgia, in the United States. Started doing a drama workshop, I believe. He was doing drama back there. Then he came into the UK when he was like 27 and started stand-up. So he's been doing stand-up for a good 30 years now. Veteran. He's been on TV and everything. So I ended up supporting him, which was lovely. I also got to speak to him. Now, a long time ago, I did a gig in Sale, which is in Manchester. It was in a little theatre. And I remember afterwards, when I finished, I felt a little bit peckish. And I remember seeing a chip shop there. I thought, right, let me just grab myself a bag of chips. I went there and I went inside and there was a young girl in there. And I was just talking to her, and then she noticed I wasn't obviously from Manchester because of my accent. I said, oh, no, I'm from Birmingham. I've just come up. I'm a comedian. And then she said to me, oh, my dad's a comedian. And I was like, oh, really? And she went, yeah, he's a comedian as well. I went, oh, what's his name? I might know him. And she said, Reginald D. Hunter. And obviously I knew who Reginald D. Hunter was then. And I said, he's quite famous, your dad, isn't he? Been on Live at Apollo, he's done loads of other stuff, acting. And she said, yeah. I went, oh, that's mad, small world. And I told her to say hello for me when we spoke, and that was it. And then I've always remembered that. And when I met Reginald for the first time last Sunday, I told him about the story, and then he kind of played it like he doesn't have a daughter. Like, I'm making it up, but turns out he does have a daughter. But he was like, no, I don't have one in Manchester. I don't know whether he did, but I said, just ask your daughter. She might not remember it, but we'd had a brief 10-minute conversation, and I left. So, yeah. Anyway, that's not really major news that I met his daughter. But I met him. But I suppose I met him and his daughter, haven't I? Yeah, in a way. It was a good gig, all in all. I am back there again. I'm going to support Bobby Davro, who's a British comic, and I'll be looking forward to that as well. So I've been doing a couple of gigs in the meantime. Did one yesterday in a little place, which was only 10 minutes away from my house. A club that's been running for 25 years called the Comedy Junction in Sutton Coldfield. That was great. I went there, did 10 minutes of new stuff, and I am so pleased that my new material is starting to develop. It's getting there. It's so good I can actually put that material into my show, Half Soaked. Oh, by the way, talking about my show, Half Soaked, I am doing the Birmingham Comedy Festival. I don't even know if I've mentioned this. I don't think I have. My show is heading to Brum in October on Sunday the 5th at the Victoria Pub, which is right outside the train station. So there is no excuse for you guys to come down. Come down. It's on a Sunday. It starts at 3:30. Sunday the 5th. It will be great to have you there. It's a free entry show, and I will just collect your money afterwards. Talking about collecting money, let's do one of my topics.
Truth, am I the a-hole? Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole?
Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole? I haven't done an Am I the a-hole for a while. This one has been put up by Pristine Detail from the Reddit forum. Pristine Detail is saying, my sister, 33-year-old female, happy birthday to her, thinks that I, 31-year-old, happy birthday to you, mate, being a misogynist for the way I raise my daughter, 7 years old. Happy birthday to your daughter. So here is his post. Let's see what this is all about. I, 31 male, he's saying it again. Happy birthday, mate. We already know your age. I'm a single dad to a 7-year-old. Her mom is not in the picture at all. Financially, I have no problem raising her since I have well-paying job. But I live close to my parents, sister, and the extended family, so that my daughter grows up with the family, since obviously she doesn't have any social connection to her mom's side, which is very unfortunate, I think. My family has taken a part in raising her, so I always take their opinions into account. After all, I do think my parents did a great job in raising me and my sister. Naturally, my sister has taken into a mother role for my daughter. I have no problem with that. Of course, I want her to have a mother figure. I also give my sister full authority to do what is in the best interest of my daughter, even if that means grounding her or scolding her appropriately. There is nothing wrong with that, my friend. The problem came 2 weeks ago when my daughter wanted her ears pierced and wanted a makeup kit. Apparently, she talked to my sister about it, and my sister, in brackets, who's put without asking or even telling me, made an appointment to get it done. I said absolutely not. I don't want my daughter doing any of that. She's too young. Yes, you are right. She is very young. I didn't get my daughter's ears pierced until she was about 15, I think. So she had it, yeah, that's right. She had it done last year. Let's get back to what he's got to say. I want her to be a kid as long as she can. My sister said I'm being a misogynist, that having a daughter doesn't mean I get to control every aspect of her life and what she wants to do with her body. I think your sister's been more of the misogynist, because she should know that your daughter is still way young. For reference, my sister has always been someone with these types of views. Any mention of patriarchy, abortion, or just the general idea of a man controlling what a woman does really gets my sister riled up. So that is his post. I think your sister should have spoken to you first. I mean, you are the dad. Although your sister does play a big part in your daughter's life, she still should have, spoke to you about it. And if you agree to it, then it's not really a problem. But I do get what you're saying, It's a 7-year-old girl, and she's still way too young. Let your daughter grow up a little bit more, and then you can ask her about getting it done. Obviously, she's going to get her ears pierced. Obviously. But at the moment, I think it's a little bit too young. Don't worry about your sister. I mean, she's always going to be playing that mother role. Just have it out with her. Just say to her, anything that you do with my daughter or she asks you, I need you to speak to me first, and then we'll take it from there. But as am I the a-hole, you really not are the a-hole, mate. Yesterday, I ran a comedy workshop for my cousin. My cousin owns a gym called Legacy, and he likes to help kids out. He does train adults as well, but I think the kids' age groups start from 6 to 16. And yesterday he asked me if I could do a comedy workshop. So I went to his gym yesterday and there was about 20 odd kids. And you know what kids are like? A lot of them are shy, but you do always get that one child who just wants to get involved. And there was this one kid and he was so energetic. I think he's got ADHD. He was just like, he wanted to tell jokes. He wasn't scared to stand up in front of the rest of the children and tell them funny stories. I did that yesterday. I've never done anything like that before. It was a lot of fun. It was a good experience, and I would definitely do it again. So it's part of a thing. If you're from Birmingham, it is for children who get free school meals. So you can take your child there. It's on every day in August. If you go onto my Facebook page, Lovdev Bar Paga, just Google that and you'll find me on Facebook. You'll see the post there. If you are from the West Midlands and you listen to this podcast, then let people know, because he's doing go-karting, which is all paid for. They're having food and drinks. They're having like music, magicians, just loads of activities for the kids to do. It's all completely free. You can also check out the boxing that he trains children on. So that's what I got up to yesterday, which was fantastic. Talking about children, the next topic involves kids. Well, I think it does, because the title has got the word child in it. What is it you're talking about? It's the paranormal on Reddit. Been put up by somebody called Chimp Goblin. It's called the Black Eye Child. Now he's saying, I don't know if I'm being paranoid or hallucinating, but today me and my dad were driving through Mojave to get to LA, and it's all desert. It was sunset and we passed by this white car driving, and I always look at cars when driving because I like looking at who's driving. He must be a police officer. Anyway, I was looking at this car and saw in the back seat of this car a little boy who was sticking his head out of the window. He was very sickly pale, bald, and I looked at him closely, and his eyes were all black. And at first I thought that he was wearing contacts or something, but he didn't have any white inside his eyes, only black. I didn't really get too freaked out from this because I thought maybe he was a cosplayer or something. And so did my dad, until 10 minutes passed and we already had passed the car when in the distance we seen a person just standing in the middle of the road, and my dad slowed down and we looked closely at the person because my dad was thinking of giving him a ride. But we noticed the person had the same complex as the little kid I saw in the back seat of the woman's car. So my dad just went around the person and sped off. He was on the right side because I was on the passenger seat, so I was very close to seeing him. But he just looked at us and there was no emotion. We were talking about it on the way home, and now, finally, we don't know what type of encounter we just had. We do not believe in any paranormal stuff, he's put in brackets, but we don't know how to feel now. Because they looked human, but at the same time, they had an eerie look to them, like they were almost dead. The guy in the road looked like a teenager, maybe very tall, very skinny, pale, skin like sandpaper white, bold and deep black eyes. We still don't know, maybe a hitchhiker. Except they didn't have anything with them, just a black long sleeve thin shirt and black sweatpants. I believe it was like a pajama, thin and didn't move, just stared at our car and was looking at us when we drove off. If anyone has ever had this same encounter, please let me know. Maybe it was a local that lived in the desert. Or something. I don't know his put. Oh my God. That sounds like something out of a horror movie, isn't it? I'm trying to think of the movie. What is it now? There's a kid, isn't there, with really dark eyes. What's that film called? Oh, it's going to bug me now. It's that bad. I'm going to have to pause this and Google it and see if I can find the movie. Well, you're not going to believe this. I had to do that little jingle because I was looking for the thing, right? I didn't find the film, but there is an article on Wikipedia. I don't know if you've seen this, Goblin Guy. It's called Black-Eyed Children on the old Wikipedia. It says in American contemporary legend, they are paranormal creatures that resemble children and teenagers. They've got pale skin, black eyes, and they've been seen hitchhiking or begging. And some people have even encountered them on their doorsteps, on their residential homes. While tabloid coverage of these creatures have claimed that tales of the black-eyed children, they have existed since the 80s, most sources indicate the legend originated from 96. There was a posting written by Texas reporter Brian Bethnal on a ghost-related mailing list. 2 encounters with black-eyed kids. Bethel describes encountering 2 such children in Abilene, Texas. I don't know if that's near you, because I'm not that, my knowledge isn't that great about America. And claims that a second person a similar unrelated encounter in Portland, Oregon. Bethel's stories have become regarded as classics of creepypasta. His stories gained such popularity that he published a Q&A just to keep up with demand for more info about the new urban legend. Now, there is a documentary that was on TV called Monsters and Mysteries in America. Maybe you need to watch that and see what you and your dad encountered is very similar. Now, I do believe that you and your dad definitely saw something. And maybe your encounter will be famous. Who knows? You might be on the TV. How weird is that? I've never seen anyone with dark eyes like that. I mean, I've seen some people have nice, beautiful black eyes, but not like with pale skin. I can't remember the film that I'm thinking of, and it's doing my head in. But I bet a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's a horror film that's got creepy kids. The Edinburgh Fringe has kicked off, folks. I'm not there this year, unfortunately. I am thinking about doing it next year. At least go for a week, I think. I'm definitely up for it and doing my show half soaked there. I've got a really strong feeling by next year I will have a solid show. And then obviously I want to get it filmed and put it out as a special, because I don't think Amazon or Netflix is going to approach me. But as the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is on, and if some of you who do listen to this podcast and are thinking about going up, there is a couple of shows that I highly recommend. Obviously, they come from the Best in Class family when I went to do Best in Class in Edinburgh in 2022. Some of the comics who will be appearing there that I want you to go and see are, there's Amanda Hersey. She's got a show called Carted. She's in the Gilded Balloon. Jacob Nussey has got his show called Primed. He's in the Pleasance Courtyard. Molly McGuinness with Slob at the Monkey Barrel. Kelly Rickard, who is Free as a Bird. Jane Edwards has The She-Devil. And Dean Coughlin has Oblivious Sausage, who's at Just the Tonic. They are just some of the people there. Also, my good friend, Steve Lee, who plays Mad Ron, will also be in Edinburgh doing his show called Identity Theft. Lots of other people there. Loads of great shows. I always highly recommend the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. If you love art, music, cabaret, drama, street performers, comedy, it's such an amazing atmosphere, and you will absolutely love it. We are almost at the end of the podcast, but I want to do a confession.
Confessions the church, red is the priest, a click to cleanse or fuel the beast.
It's confession time by Glittering Delay. Glittering Delay is saying, I found $8,000 inside a bra box when I worked at a thrift store and never told anyone about it. Oh, how did £8,000 get itself inside a bra box? I do know some of you women out there always store things, don't you, in your bra? My mum used to store her house key. So maybe somebody put $8,000 down in their bra, forgot about it, and just took the bra off and left it in the box. It can happen. I don't know. Let's find out what's going on. Back in 21, I worked at a small thrift store in my hometown. I was in charge of going through the socks, underwear, bras, shoes, purses, and bedding. Additionally, we would collect brand new stuff and hold them back for a sale. We would have 4 times a year with all the brand new stuff. We happened to get 6 or 8 brand new bras, and one of my co-workers boxed them up for our sale. At least 4 months went by between the time we boxed up these bras and the next time I saw them again. They weren't new, and if someone had noticed something was missing and came in asking for them back, we would try our best to find the items as long as we could. We never heard anything back. A week before everything goes out onto the floor for the sale, we check everything over and make sure it's priced if needed. These bras in their boxes were something that needed priced, and I pulled out one of the boxes. Behind it was a thick bank envelope with nothing written on it. I opened a desk drawer and put the envelope inside there. I grabbed it when I went on my lunch break, and it was full of cash. After counting, I realized it was $8,000 and put it in my bag without saying a word to anyone, and didn't tell anyone I worked with until I left there and undersold how much it was by a lot, telling them it was a few hundred. I never heard anything about it, and no one ever asked anything about the box. So I don't think the person that donated even knew what they did. Part of that money was used to help me get a car, so I didn't have to walk to work anymore. Imagine finding $8,000 or pounds if you're from England in a bra. That's what I called a booby prize. Booby. Okay, I'll leave it there. That's mad, that is. I wonder if it was a little old lady and she forgot all about it. I don't know how that can happen, to be honest. I mean, if she took the bra off, surely the envelope would fall down and she'd remember it. Or maybe she just thought this might help someone in the future, and they could be absolutely loaded. It's finally time to end the podcast, and I can't wait. Yes, as always, it's time to do the weird news story. This weird news story, I actually saw it on a friend's Facebook page, and I thought, I like this, and it's very recent, so let's do it. What's it about? I'll tell you in a minute. iPhone tragedy. A woman dies on a bus with 26 iPhones glued to her body in a horror mystery. Hang on a minute. A woman dies on a bus. She's got 26 iPhones glued onto her body. What the hell is this all about? A 20-year-old reportedly fell ill on the bus and tragically died while being treated. She was traveling in Guarapuava, which is in Brazil, central region of Parana. Emergency responders rushed to save her, but found her having trouble breathing. She was treated on the bus, where she reportedly displayed symptoms of convulsions. Shortly after, she died of a cardiac arrest, according to local media. Paramedics attempted to revive her for 45 minutes, but she was pronounced dead. Military police in the country said the woman was found with 26 iPhones glued to her. Officers from the military police called in forensic teams from around the scientific police and civil police. A sniffer dog did not detect any drugs on the woman. Now, that's what I thought. Was she selling drugs or smuggling in iPhones? I don't know. But several bottles of alcohol was found in her luggage and seized. Parana Civil Police are saying that they're investigating the case and waiting on the conclusion of forensic reports to clarify the actual cause of her death. The 26 iPhones that were glued to her body have now been seized and sent to Brazil's Federal Revenue Service. And that's where the story ends, unfortunately. Imagine having 26 iPhones glued to your body. If that was me, I'm not even an iPhone man, so I'd end up having Android phones like Samsung, Xiaomi, Sony. That would be me, that would. We are glued to our phones though, aren't we? Literally. That was today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I will speak to you guys next week.